Hey, how you doing? This intro is meant to grab your attention. Hello and good day, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Alex and I'm talking to you today because I consider myself to be a pretty productive person, and we are investigating whether or not that is actually true by looking at my personal habit tracker for the second week in a row. And remember, we have 3 goals with this habit tracker. The first one is to incentivize myself to be more consistent over the long term. Second one is to find meaningful analysis and get feedback from you. And the third goal, the most important goal, is to just inspire you to take a good look at your habits as well. So with that being said, let's dive right on into the second week of my habit tracker. And you may recognize this is my newly made custom habit tracker. Just to remind you, if you want to get in on the action, you can download your own version of this custom habit tracker for free on my website, lifeline.coach, link in the description below. It's really great because you can customize the exact look of your habit tracker, enter your own habits, and this makes you more invested in the habit creation process, so you're more likely to succeed over the long term. Now, with that being said, let's look at exactly what I've done here. My first habit, if you recall, is job 3 times per week. This is because I work in medical sales. This is my actual real job. I want to do this 3 days per week. We did that Monday for 8 hours, Tuesday for 7 hours, and Wednesday for 8 hours. So perfect. First habit successful. And for our second habit here, we have business. We want to do this 5 days a week. If you recall, business just means doing personal business ventures. Right now, that mostly means this Lifeline stuff, which includes making these videos, design, phone calls, etc., etc. This is taking up a lot of time, so I did this every single day this week, not just 5 days a week. A little bit of an overachiever. All right, so overall, in total, looks like I believe if we add these all up, that is, what is that, 28 hours for the week. So we spent 28 hours doing Lifeline stuff primarily. In total with our job stuff, we spent 51 hours working this week. So not too bad. It's less than we spent working last week, even though we took a whole day off last week, but you know, the hours aren't really important. As important right now is just hitting the days per week. So another habit successful. And our third habit, if you recall, this is our Anki flashcards. Just to study these, mostly on mine I have business terms, psychology terms, new things I want to learn and study. Hit that. Again, this takes between 15 minutes and 1 hour to complete every day, just depending on how many cards Anki gives me to review for that day. So week 2, successful. Boom. And our fourth habit, again, working out. I want to work out 4 days per week. We were successful. Let's see, worked out on Monday. How does this compare to the previous week? We did Monday, Wednesday, and then Saturday, Sunday. Looks like the second week we did Monday and then 3 days in a row. Okay, interesting. It looks like I like these 3 days in a row section and then take a couple of days off. We'll see if this trend continues, but overall, again, another successful habit. And moving on to our fifth habit, we have basketball. Remember, this is not something that we have a specific goal for. We're just tracking how many days a week we play basketball because, you know, that's a big hobby. So just curious to see that. We did 3 days this week during week 2, whereas the previous week we did 4 every day we worked out. This week it was rather staggered, so just whenever I had the opportunity, it's a bit of a cathartic experience. It really just allows me to loosen up. It's a hobby that I really enjoy doing, so we'll see how often I continue to do this in the future as well. Moving on to our next habit, we have a bad one that we're actually trying to mitigate or control a little bit, which is eating out. If you recall, the goal here is to eat out, spend less than $37 per week eating out so that we can be more healthy and save more money. The first week we ate out 3 days out of the week, and remember we said we wanted to cut that down to 2 days, just kind of as an extra added bonus challenge. Looks like we did not fulfill that portion of it, but actually, you know what, we kind of did, because $3.50, this tells me that this was just money spent on coffee. And I like to go to the coffee shop a lot to work. It's a nice change of environment. So that really doesn't count as eating out. I'm gonna change that to a yes. So we ate out 2 days per week this week. And let's see if we fell under $37, $15, 12, easy. Perfect, okay. So really happy with this. We spent less than $37 eating out this week, and we only eat out 2 days per week. Nice. Little pat on the back for me. Good job. Okay, let's move on to the next habit. This is another bad one that we're trying to mitigate or stop, which is no video games. So we want to not play video games for 4 weeks. Also important to note, these percentages up top here, these are really only important for ones like no video games where they have to be successful every day. These percentages don't really matter so much for these ones where they're on a weekly basis, days per week that we want to achieve. So important to pay attention for the no video games and no candy specifically. But for this week, we are successful. Didn't play video games at all. So we're 50% of the way there, baby. And next habit is another bad one, no candy. Remember, we don't want to buy candy, eat candy for 3 weeks. A really tough one because, dude, I have a major sweet tooth. I love my sweets. And they're just so nice, you know? Anyone who knows me personally, well, that's probably the first thing they'll say is like, yo, Alex loves his sweets. But we are holding strong, no candy for 3 weeks. This was successful for the day. Pat on the back. And let's move on to our final 3 habits, which again are just these personal grooming ones that are easy to forget if we don't track them. And see, you'll see what I mean. Easy to forget. This retainer, I'm supposed to wear it 7 days a week. I did not wear it 3 of the days because honestly, sometimes I just forget. I'll go to bed and I'll wake up the next morning and go, oh, whoops, forgot to, wear my retainer. So that's why we're tracking this. It's very important for me. I need to concretize that in my mind. Sleep equals retainer. Retainer equals sleep. Sleep, retainer, retainer, sleep. So hopefully we'll clear that up next week. Flossing, it looks like we did a good job. Successful. Face wash routine, successful. Easy peasy. Retainer, we'll fix that next week. And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. There is our productivity review for the 2nd week. We are holding strong, but subscribe because you don't know if I'm gonna crack in the weeks to come. Also, I wanna show you this. I want you to check out this habit tracker, this custom habit tracker for yourself, because take a look up here. You can clear this customization. This is how it starts. It's a good thing I saved this actually, but you can make up your own customization. You can change this to look just how you want it so that you are more compelled to follow along because it's a personal creation. Leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think. Do you have any questions, concerns? How are your habits going? I'd like to hear about that. Maybe post videos of you tracking your habits as well. And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you enjoyed that video. If you did, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button because it's just right here. Also, check out these links. The top one here is recommended by YouTube. The bottom one, my recommendation. As always, I want to remind you to work hard, be organized, and stay consistent. And I'll catch you next video. Hey, bada bing, bada boom, baka. Shukatakati, chakapapaka.